Everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that I think is on a lot of people's minds as they get closer to retirement.
Yeah,
How to build wealth that lasts.
right.
Not just for you, but, for your kids, maybe even grandkids.
Exactly. Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. And one thing we keep hearing about for that is gold IRAs. So we've got a ton of research here,
Yeah.
articles, expert opinions, all that good stuff. And we're going to try to figure out,
Unpack it all.
if gold IRAs live up to the hype.
The good, the bad, and everything in between.
So let's start with something that I think a lot of people struggle with. And I know I have diversification.
Yep.
Why is that so important for people who are thinking about retirement?
Well, when you're younger, you have more time.
Yeah.
If the market takes a dip, you can wait it out.
You have time to recover.
But in retirement, you're relying on those savings, right, to live.
Right.
You don't have that luxury of time anymore, so you need to be really careful about big losses.
So it's not even just about growing your money. It's about protecting what you've already earned.
Exactly. And that's where I think alternative assets like gold can really play a role.
Okay.
Because you see, gold has this really interesting quality where it tends to hold its value, even when other assets, like stocks, are struggling.
But some people might say that gold is a little bit, old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Is it really a smart move for a modern retirement portfolio?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And that's where things get interesting. If you look at gold historically, it's been a really solid store of value.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for centuries, right? Civilizations have relied on it through good times and bad.
It's true.
And even if we look at more recent history, like in the U.S. in the 1970s when inflation was really high, gold actually did exceptionally well.
Oh, wow.
It acted as a hedge against that inflation.
So it's like an insurance policy
Yeah, think of it that way.
for uncertainty in the market.
Exactly.
Okay, so I gotta ask,
Yeah.
how does a gold IRA actually work?
So it's pretty straightforward, actually.
Okay.
You start by funding the account.
Okay.
You can transfer money from an existing IRA, a 401k, anything like that.
Got it.
And then you choose the precious metals you want to invest in.
Wait, so it's not just gold?
Right.
What else is there?
You can usually do silver, platinum, palladium,
Interesting.
all considered precious metals.
Yeah.
And they all tend to behave differently than stocks or bonds.
Okay, so I've got my metals. Where do they go? Do I need to get, a safe in my basement?
No.
Okay.
That's where a custodian comes in.
Okay.
And a custodian, by the way, is basically a financial institution, like a bank or a trust company, that holds and protects your assets.
Mm-hmm.
So they work with an IRS-approved depository to store your precious metals securely.
Oh.
So they're safe, and it ensures that everything's on the up and up.
So the custodian manages the account and the depository stores the gold. Got it.
Exactly.
But I'm guessing there are fees, right? Like with anything else?
Yeah, there are. But the good news is, with reputable custodians, the fees are usually pretty comparable to, or even sometimes lower than what you'd find with a traditional IRA.
Okay, so we've got the basics down.
Yeah.
But I think our listeners are already thinking, okay, what are the downsides? What do I need to watch out for?
Yeah, of course, no investment is perfect.
Right.
And one thing to remember with gold is that the prices can be volatile,
Okay.
especially in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
They can go up and down depending on all sorts of things like supply and demand, geopolitical events,
So you're not guaranteed that it's always going to go up in value, especially if you need the money quickly.
Exactly. And another thing to consider is that, unlike stocks, gold doesn't generate dividends or interest.
Right.
So it's really relying on that price appreciation for growth.
So it sounds like gold IRAs are more of a long-term strategy.
Exactly. Yeah,
They're
long
doing
term.
quick profits.
Right. You want to think of it as part of a diversified portfolio that can help you hedge against inflation
Mm-hmm.
and potentially preserve your wealth over time.
Okay, so we've talked about how it works, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But what about the generational wealth part?
Good question.
How does that play into a gold IRA?
So one of the great things about gold IRAs is that they can be passed down to beneficiaries,
Oh, okay.
just like a traditional IRA.
Mm-hmm.
So this can provide a real sense of security and stability for your loved ones,
Yeah.
potentially protecting a portion of their inheritance from those market fluctuations.
So it's not just about building wealth, it's about protecting it for the future.
Exactly. And there's also that emotional element, right?
Yeah.
Passing down something like physical gold, which is tangible and has this historical significance,
Mm-hmm.
can really create a sense of legacy and connection across generations.
There's just something about holding gold that feels different from looking at, a stock ticker on your computer. It has that history behind it.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
It goes back centuries.
I'm starting to understand the appeal.
But of course, sentimentality aside, we do want to make informed decisions about our investments.
Right. Absolutely. We're not just buying it because it's shiny.
Right.
So let's say our listener is thinking, okay, this is interesting, but how do I know if it's right for me?
Yeah.
Where do you even begin?
The most important thing is to find a reputable gold IRA provider.
Okay.
That's really where your due diligence comes in, because you're entrusting them with a huge part of your financial future.
Right.
So you want to make sure they're the real deal.
So how do you find those providers? And how do you know if they're trustworthy?
Good questions.
Yeah.
I think the best place to start is looking for providers who have a strong track record.
Okay.
How long have they been in business? What's their reputation like? You can check online reviews, see what other investors are saying.
So do some research, basically.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
A good provider should be totally transparent about their fees, their storage process, their investment options. If they're being evasive or trying to pressure you into something, that's a red flag.
I can see how this could be a little overwhelming, especially if you're not already really familiar with investing.
It can be.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to find a provider who has great customer support.
Okay.
You want a team who can answer your questions patiently, walk you through the process, and really make sure you understand what you're getting into.
Like you're finding a financial partner, really.
Exactly. You want to feel confident that they have your best interests at heart.
Makes sense.
And then once you've chosen a provider, they'll usually walk you through the whole setup process,
Okay.
which is generally pretty straightforward. They'll help you fund your account, choose your metals, handle the secure storage in that IRS-approved depository.
So they basically hold your hand through the whole thing.
Yeah, the goal is to make it as seamless as possible.
That's great.
But, it's still your money, your retirement.
Right.
So you should always feel empowered to ask questions, understand the details, and make the decisions that align with your goals.
Okay, so we found our provider. We're all set up. What happens next?
Well, there are a few key decisions you'll need to make.
Okay.
The first is, what type of gold IRA do you want?
Oh, there's different types.
There are traditional or Roth,
Okay.
and this depends on your tax situation. A traditional gold IRA lets your investments grow tax-deferred,
Oh, right.
meaning you don't pay taxes until you withdraw the money in retirement.
So you put off the taxes for later. Got it.
Exactly. A Roth Gold IRA is a bit different, though.
Okay.
You contribute after-tax dollars, so you're paying the taxes up front, but then your withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free.
So which one is better?
It really depends on your individual circumstances, your
Okay.
financial goals.
Makes sense.
Talking to a financial advisor can be a great idea to figure out which one makes the most sense for you.
Good advice.
Yeah, they can provide that personalized guidance based on your situation.
Okay, so we chose our IRA. Now, what about the actual gold? Do you get to choose like what form it takes?
You do.
Really?
Yeah, you can choose gold bars, which are usually larger and have lower premiums,
Okay.
or gold coins, which offer a lot more variety
Mm-hmm.
and even potential numismatic value, which means their value can increase beyond just the price of gold.
Oh, so there's like a collector's aspect to it.
Exactly. Some people really like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you can choose the specific types of coins, like American Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs.
Cool.
It's a whole world to explore.
It's like building a little treasure chest.
It is.
But hold on, you mentioned earlier that gold prices can be volatile.
Yeah.
Does that mean you could actually lose money with a gold IRA?
Like any investment, there's always some level of risk, right?
Right.
Gold prices can go down as well as up. And it's impossible to predict the market perfectly.
Right.
That's why diversification is so important.
Mm-hmm.
A gold IRA shouldn't be your only investment.
Yeah, it should be one piece of your overall strategy.
So don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Exactly. Think of it like a balanced meal.
Okay.
You need different food groups to stay healthy.
Right.
And you need different asset classes to weather the financial storms.
That's a great analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're diversified, we're informed, we've chosen our gold. But are there any other things to watch out for?
Yeah.
I'm guessing there are some shady people out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime something gets popular, you always have people who try to take advantage of that.
That's true.
One common scam is the too good to be true offer.
Oh, yeah.
If a provider is promising you guaranteed returns or pushing you to make a quick decision,
Yeah.
be very wary.
So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
It probably is.
What else?
Also, watch out for high-pressure sales tactics.
Okay.
A good provider is going to educate you answer your questions, and give you time to make an informed decision.
They're not going to pressure you into signing anything on the spot.
Okay.
Another red flag is a lack of transparency.
Okay.
Reputable providers will be upfront about their fees,
Yeah.
their storage practices, their investment options.
Yeah.
If they're being evasive or hesitant to answer your questions, it's a sign to move on.
So transparency is key.
Absolutely.
If they're hiding something, it's probably not good.
Right.
Yeah.
And, always remember, you're in control.
Right.
Don't let anyone pressure you into a decision that you're not comfortable with.
Okay, so I'm feeling a lot more confident about this now.
Okay.
I'm also realizing it's not one size fits all.
Yeah, it's not a magic bullet.
Right.
Gold IRAs can be a really valuable tool for some people, but they're not right for everyone.
Right.
It really depends on your personal circumstances, your risk tolerance, your financial goals.
So it's not a guarantee, but it could be a really valuable part of a retirement plan.
Precisely.
Okay, well, that was a lot of information. I bet our listeners still have a ton of questions, though.
Yeah, probably.
Where can they go to learn more?
Well, that's a great question, and one we'll be tackling in the next part of our deep dive.
Oh, great.
So stick with us.
Right, sounds good.
We'll explore things like choosing the right provider, different account types, and making sure you don't fall for any scams.
Awesome. Can't wait. And we're back talking about gold IRAs.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks listening might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but gold, that's got to be for, rich people, right?
It's a common misconception.
Yeah.
And it's really just not true.
Okay.
Gold IRAs are actually surprisingly accessible.
Really?
You don't need to be a millionaire to get started.
Okay.
A lot of providers offer flexible options,
Okay.
to suit different budgets.
So it's more about making smart choices,
Exactly.
regardless of how much you have.
Right. It's about recognizing that everyone faces financial uncertainty and deserves to have options for protecting their savings.
I like that. It's about taking control.
Yeah.
Being proactive.
Exactly.
So let's say our listener is thinking, okay, this is worth exploring.
Okay.
What's the first step? Where do you even begin?
The most important thing is to find a reputable gold IRA provider.
Okay.
That's where you got to do your homework.
Yeah.
Because you're entrusting them with a big chunk of your future.
Right.
So you want to make sure they're legit.
So how do you even find those providers? And then how do you know if they're trustworthy?
Right. So I think you start by looking for providers with a really strong track record.
Okay.
How long have they been around? What do people say about them? Check online reviews,
Do a little digging.
Exactly. And don't be shy about asking questions.
Yeah.
A good provider should be upfront about their fees, their storage, their investment options.
Right.
If they're dodging your questions or being pushy, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can see how all of this could be really overwhelming,
it definitely can be.
especially if you're not, super familiar with investing in general.
That's why it's so important to find a provider that offers great customer support.
Okay.
You want a team that will be patient with you, answer your questions, walk you through everything, make sure you really understand.
So it's almost like you're finding a partner.
It is. You want to feel confident that they have your best interests at heart.
Right.
And once you've chosen a provider, they'll usually walk you through the setup,
Okay.
which is usually pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
They'll help you fund your account, choose your metals, handle the secure storage.
So they kind of hold your hand through the whole thing.
The goal is to make it as easy as possible.
That's good.
But remember, it's still your money,
Right.
your retirement. So you should always feel empowered to ask questions and make sure you understand everything.
Okay, so we found a provider, we trust them, we set up our account, now what?
Well, there are a few key decisions to make.
Okay.
First, you have to decide what type of gold IRA you want.
Oh, there's different types.
There are, yeah.
Okay.
Traditional or Roth.
Okay.
This really comes down to your tax situation.
Yeah.
A traditional gold IRA lets your investments grow tax deferred,
Okay.
meaning you don't pay taxes until you withdraw the money in retirement.
So you're delaying the taxes.
Exactly.
Got it.
A Roth gold IRA is a little different, though.
Okay.
You contribute after-tax dollars, so you pay the taxes up front, but then the withdrawals in retirement are tax-free.
So you pay now or you pay later?
Basically.
Okay.
It depends on your circumstances and what makes sense for your goals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A financial advisor can be a great resource for this kind of decision.
Good advice.
They can give you that personalized guidance.
Okay, so we've chosen our type of IRA. Now what about the actual gold itself? Do you get to choose what form it takes?
Yeah, you actually do.
Really?
You can choose gold bars, which are usually bigger and have lower premiums,
Okay.
or gold coins, which come in more varieties
Mm-hmm.
and could have numismatic value.
Numismatic value.
Yeah, which means their value could increase beyond just the price of gold.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because they become collector's items.
So it's like an investment and a collector's item.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And you could even choose specific coins, like American Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, things like that.
It's like building your own little treasure chest.
It is.
Okay. But I remember you mentioned that gold prices can be volatile.
Right.
So does that mean there's a chance you could lose money in a gold IRA?
Well, there's always risk with any investment, right?
Right.
Gold prices can go down as well as up,
Okay.
and no one can perfectly predict the market.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to diversify.
Okay.
A gold IRA shouldn't be your only investment. We
Reason.
should be one part of your overall plan.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Think of it like a balanced meal. You need different things to stay healthy,
That's a good analogy.
and your portfolio needs different things to weather different economic conditions.
Right, to be resilient. Okay, so we're diversified, we did our research, we chose our gold.
Okay.
Are there any other, pitfalls that we need to watch out for?
Absolutely.
Okay, I figured.
You know, whenever something gets popular, there are always people who try to take advantage.
Right, the scammers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One common one is the too good to be true offer.
Oh, yeah.
If a provider is promising you guaranteed returns
Mm-hmm.
or trying to rush you into a decision,
Yeah, those are always bad signs.
big red flags.
What else?
Be wary of high-pressure sales tactics.
Okay.
A reputable provider will educate you, answer your questions, give you space to decide.
Right.
They won't try to force you into anything.
Okay.
Another thing to watch for is lack of transparency.
Okay.
A good provider should be upfront about their fees, storage, investments.
Right.
If they're hiding things, it's not a good sign.
Transparency is key.
Absolutely.
If they're not being open, walk away.
Exactly. And remember, you're the one in control. Don't let anyone pressure you into something you're not comfortable with.
Okay, I'm feeling a lot better about all of this. Now I'm also realizing it's not, a perfect solution for everyone.
Not a magic bullet.
Right.
Gold IRAs can be great for some people,
Yeah.
but they're not right for everyone.
It really depends on your situation.
Exactly. Your risk tolerance, your goals.
So it's not a guarantee, but it could be a valuable part of a plan.
It could be.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I know we've covered a lot, but I'm sure our listeners still have a ton of questions. Where can they go to learn more?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll be addressing after a quick break.
Okay, great.
So stay tuned.
Sounds good.
We'll be talking about how to choose the right provider, different account types, and how to avoid those scams.
Perfect. Can't wait. We're back, and I feel like we've covered so much about gold IRAs.
Yeah, we have.
But I'm sure people listening are still going to have some questions.
For sure.
So where can they go if they want to learn more?
Well, you can always check out the websites of different gold IRA providers.
Oh, okay.
A lot of them have really good educational resources,
Okay.
like FAQs, sometimes calculators to help you kind of estimate potential returns.
So you can kind of shop around, see what's out there.
Exactly. Do your research.
Harry, what else?
And don't forget about financial advisors.
Oh, right.
They can give you that personalized advice,
Yeah.
based on your situation and your goals.
Like help you figure out if it's even right for you.
Exactly. And which provider might be a good fit.
It's like having a coach in your corner.
It is.
Okay, that's good advice.
And, good old-fashioned research is always helpful.
Yeah.
Plenty of articles and blogs about gold IRAs and precious metals.
Right, just got to make sure they're from good sources.
Exactly. Double-check those sources.
Okay, so we've got provider websites, financial advisors, online research.
Mhm.
Any other words of wisdom before we wrap up?
Yeah, just remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint, Building generational wealth takes time.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
It's about slow and steady growth,
Mm-hmm.
protecting your wealth, and passing on that legacy.
That's a great way to put it.
It's about more than just money,
Yeah,
It's about that stability, that opportunity for the future.
absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Hopefully you learned a lot about gold IRAs
Mm-hmm.
and, maybe feel inspired to explore them further.
Absolutely.
And just remember, the more you know about your financial options,
Right.
the better prepared you'll be to build that brighter future
Couldn't agree more.
for yourself and your family.
For sure.
All right, well, that's all for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.